Streaming, how freaked out is Apple?
Apple's pretty freaked out. You have to understand something about Apple. They are not a services company. They want to sell devices, but the services are a way to lock you into those devices.
Yeah.
As a result, as people keep moving over to a streaming service, it removes owning music as a lock-in. It used to be that if you bought an iPhone, you wouldn't switch to Android because where would all your music go?
Yeah.
With a streaming service, you can switch easily, which is why Apple wants a streaming service.
I'm going to take an editorial comment here and say that I've always found the experience with iTunes deeply awful.
I will agree with you in that assessment.
Can they get streaming right? Is there something cultural within Apple that is preventing them from providing you with a good experience?
Well, the history has not been terribly helpful for Apple in this case. When you think about it, they had iTunes Music in the cloud, and then there was the music that you owned, and then you could sync it if you wanted, and it just became, and then if you didn't have the right Apple ID, as we were discussing earlier, things get very, very confusing. For a long time, Steve Jobs had the position, people want to own music. It turns out Steve Jobs wanted to own music. Most people are perfectly happy getting it from where
Steve Jobs wanted to own people's experiences with music.
That's right.
Let's dovetail this in with the emotion that's been lost. The New York Times, thank you to them for earmarking this today. Julian's Auctions, a guy bought this for a couple $100 30 years ago. This is John Lennon's Jumbo J160E. They had matching ones. Here's the actual beat. This is going to sell for under $1 million. Here they are with their matching. Here are the lads, George Harrison and John Lennon from Another Time and Place. We've gone from that emotion to the sterility of Spotify and iTunes. I would suggest Apple can pay the artists and take over the business. Am I wrong?
Apple has 800 million credit card numbers on file, which gives them a tremendous advantage. But, you know, right now, the way people are consuming music, and people have written about this already, it's song by song. It's single by single.
Yeah. Are they
going to
pay Taylor Swift so she leaves, so she doesn't go to Spotify?
She already didn't go to Spotify, so they may try to make more attractive offers.
But I think this actually goes to the heart of what Apple can do, which is one of the things, Sam, that we've heard is that Apple is cutting harder deals with and better deals with the actual labels and is pressuring them to back out of their contracts with Spotify. What's going on there?
There's been a little bit of tension there as well between Apple and the labels because Apple originally wanted to price their service at a lower price, and the labels said, hey, wait a second, no, we are going to charge the same price as what Spotify charges and Pandora and others. So they're trying to kind of navigate that territory.
Very quickly, can the new John Lennon get paid today? Can they make the rent? They're starving in the East Village. Can they make the rent?
I mean, if they can get themselves a good endorsement, perhaps, with a major company and the tour takes off really well, perhaps they can make even more money.
But they're not going to do it off digital.
No, they're not.
Okay,
Tom, the new John Lennon cannot pay to live in the East Village.
I was just going to say that. I was wrong on that. Yeah, that's true. Sam Grobart is always wonderful.